Moving forward is the only way to achieve power. We do it because it runs in our blood.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to overclock your graphics card. Now you might be asking yourself as to why should I overclock my graphics card? Well, because why not? And then the other thing is that you could achieve great performance. I'm talking about 20 to 30% performance boost, and just say you're playing a game like The Witcher 3 on ultra settings with your graphics card, but it's only at 50 frames per second. You know, 50, that's like very low. And then you overclock it by 20-30% and then it automatically boosts itself to 60 frames per second. Boom, you get a 60 frames per second solid experience, because 50 is not fun. Nobody loves 50, but 60, it's great. So yeah, that's the reason why you're gonna overclock. So the three programs we're using is gonna be Asus GPU Tweak 2, MSI Afterburner, and there's an EVGA program, but I'm not exactly sure what exactly it's called. All of this information is going to be linked down in the description below, so if you guys want to download the program from the main website and you just don't feel like, you're just too lazy to like search it yourself, I'll probably just do it for you. It's going to be linked in the description below, so just be sure to check it out. So basically the first thing that you're going to notice, and the most important thing that you guys need to keep in mind, is when overclocking, you want to increase the voltages of the graphics card because it increases stability, and the power draw limit. Power draw limit is the amount of watts your graphics card is going to take from the power supply, so the amount of power your graphics card is, you know, feeding off of with the power supply. And you do need a decent power supply, because if you don't have a good enough power supply, you might end up killing your computer entirely when overclocking extremely with the power draw limit. So you just make sure that you have at least an 80 plus certified basically power supply to be on the safe side. So yeah, power draw is going to be very important for stability and voltages, so increase those before you touch anything else for stability. And use something like Heaven Benchmark. It's a free benchmark program or utility that you could use for, also linked in the description below if you're too lazy to look it up and download it yourself. It's all going to be linked in the description, guys, just letting you know. Heaven Benchmark is a way you could test if the graphics card is stable or not with overclock. It'll even show you the overclock that it's, you know, there. And if Heaven Benchmark doesn't crash, then keep going. So with the core clock megahertz, that's the second thing you're going to look at. Basically increase it by 100 megahertz. And basically, if it's stable running Heaven Benchmark, then overclock it by another 10%. Once you are done overclocking your megahertz, you want to step to the RAM. Now for the memory of your graphics card, the GDDR5 stuff, yes, we are talking about the memory on your GPU, I wouldn't recommend overclocking, but if you just have to because you want to say play, let's just say you have a graphics card that has GDDR3 memory instead of GDDR5, you might be able to overclock the memory and achieve 1080p gaming if you don't like playing at 720p. There's a possibility that you probably will be able to overclock the memory. Now for the memory, for the GTX 960 and that's GDDR5, I was able to overclock 450 megahertz on a daily basis. Or daily basis, that's a weird word that I just invented. But anyways, on a daily basis, the graphics card is stable at 450 megahertz. Now if you're running something like DDR3 and it's not a really good graphics card in general and it heats up and stuff, I just want to recommend touching the memory. But if you have to, then try 50 megahertz and just increase it by 50 until you find your stable spot while running Heaven Benchmark. And if it's not stable, then you shouldn't probably be doing it, because one thing is that your graphics card is going to crash and your computer is going to shut down for safety, but sometimes it just doesn't work the way we want it to, and the computer just completely blacks out and kills itself. So yeah, we don't want that. By the way, the Nintendo Switch, I'm gonna make one more video about it, but my YouTube channel is more about technology and stuff, so I'm more focusing on hardware instead of, you know, rumors and stuff. So when the Nintendo Switch is released, I will probably make a review about it, maybe even take it apart to look into it and see what kind of graphics card he's using, unless, you know, NVIDIA comes out and just be like, dude, it's a X1 or it's an X2 processor, Pascal. It's Pascal because, well, actually, it's Pascal because we've read from the NVIDIA official website that said the graphics card that's going to be implemented inside the Nintendo Switch is a graphics card from the top performing cards, which to me is the 10 series, and they're using Pascal architecture. And like I said, explain architectures are pretty much the design. They could pretty much be the same as Maxwell. It doesn't really matter what it is, But I think I'm gonna have to wrap up my video. If you guys did enjoy this episode, and either just for entertainment purposes or you learned something new, hit that like button. If you didn't like it and you thought I was really terrible, just smack that dislike. And if you want to see more future videos, I think you should subscribe, because I will be uploading more videos in the future. Yeah, full-time YouTube. Catch you guys in the next one.